For as long as I can remember, I belonged to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I was a Mormon, and it was my home, my identity, and my whole world. But as I neared 30, the ground beneath that world began to crack, and I no longer believed. I was left with a choice. Should I stay where I belonged? Or should I follow what feels most true? Even if it means walking away alone. My name is Kyson, and you're watching Second Nature. And this is my search for belonging. Every winter and summer, Sarah and I drive our kids from our home in Santa Cruz, California, to visit family in eastern Idaho. And every time we cross this stretch of Nevada, we swear that this time will be our last. We've been saying that for 11 years. The distance is 952 miles. It takes 14 hours and 32 minutes of driving. And since I make us drive this vehicle, it takes us a little bit longer. We usually stay in hotels, or if I can convince everyone, tents. But the drive is truly miserable. Yet we do it over and over again. We've done 22 trips in total. That's 319 hours of driving with young kids in a car. Why? I don't know. I guess because Idaho is our home. But after leaving Mormonism, I'm not sure where we belong. This is the place I grew up. Rexburg, Idaho.
What? I love camping, dude. I'm so pumped.
Me too. Me too.
I graduated from high school here, and I loved growing up in Idaho. I had a pet raccoon, rode dirt bikes around, and my friends were up for any sort of adventure. This place is wild and untamed, and my family has lived here for generations. We'd love to bring our kids back and to visit the place of our roots. Now I know everyone thinks their hometown is a little strange, but Rexburg really is. It sits right at the edge of Yellowstone. It has caves, dunes, rivers and lakes, and huge mountains, with some of the best skiing in the world. But it's not the outdoors that makes Rexburg different. This town is quite possibly the most Mormon town in America.
Hosanna to God and the Lamb.
The mayor is Mormon, the police are Mormon, the teachers, the bus drivers, the farmers, the realtors, the gas station attendants, all Mormon. They all attend Sunday service. They all donate 10% of their income to the church. They all strictly follow their prophet's teachings.
This is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We are His disciples.
Nearly all of my hometown's 40,000 residents belong to this religion. And they love it. They love being Mormon. There's a feeling of safety here, of belonging, tradition, unity, and trust. Everyone has the same life purpose, and everyone believes in the same way. And the thought of leaving is truly unimaginable.
If you choose to leave the Church of Jesus Christ, where will you go? What will you do?
Doubt your doubts before you doubt your faith.
Either the church is true or it is a fraud. There is no middle ground.
In my hometown, when you believe like everyone else, you belong. And when I lived there, I belonged. Belonging here was never about being accepted. It was about following the path. As long as you walked the path, you were safe. But step off and think for yourself, well, that's when it all comes undone. I never imagined leaving the church. It was part of my identity and meant everything to me. But it was 2014 and we were living in Salt Lake City. We were newly married with a new baby, but we prayed and felt drawn to move to the coast. We told everyone that after a year, we'd come back home. But after that first year, things started shifting. Everything in my life up to that point had taught me that the Mormon Church had the truth. Everyone else had part of it, but we had all of it. We had the only path to live with God after you die, and the only way to live with your family in the afterlife. I knew this is true because our leaders were the mouthpieces of God. They were real prophets, like Moses or Noah.
Do you know what the word prophet means? He speaks for God.
But now, for the first time in my life, I started questioning those claims. Like, truly questioning. I read nonstop, and I began to see life with fresh eyes, through his eyes, to be honest. And the more I looked, the more I saw. I explored new ideas, and I allowed myself to feel new feelings, even the scary ones. I began reading websites and books that I'd been warned to never look at, and I couldn't tell what was true anymore. It felt like everything that my life had been built on was falling apart. When I opened up to my people about my confusion and pain, they didn't even know what to do with it. They only could tell me how sad and disappointed they were in me. They were too afraid to even talk about what I now knew to be true. I felt so alone. I wanted to leave, but I didn't know who I would be without Mormonism. Finally, one day while riding the train to San Francisco, I looked out the window and knew that I was done. I was done being Mormon. I left the place that I once belonged, and I've never been back.
Shadows in the sky, footsteps in the night behind me. targets in their sight, running out of light to save me. Red moon on the rise, you say your last good night, while I keep getting by.
The hardest part about leaving was facing the void. I felt exiled and unsure of where to go next. And I stayed in this uncomfortable place for a long time. Eventually, things began changing. Instead of finding a new community, I learned how to belong to the world within, to make space for all of my feelings, even the ones that hurt and felt like too much. I learned to grieve what I lost, even when it wasn't good for me. And I learned to name what I felt and allow all of it to belong too. Slowly, a new feeling settled into my body, and it spoke to me. You're okay. You're okay. You belong exactly as you are. You belong to the earth itself. And this feeling was unlike anything I had ever felt before.
All right, here we are, Goat Lake. This is it.
Now, I don't know all of the answers on how to belong in life. But what I do know is that I've promised myself to never again hide who I am in order to fit in and belong. I'm learning to trust myself and to belong to me. Now, I loved my childhood. I even loved growing up Mormon. But this church harmed me. It claimed to speak for God while it took my money, my time, and defined all of my biggest life moments and closest relationships. It used fear and shame to keep me in, and when I walked away, it left me with a shattered identity. But I've learned that when you stop performing, stop saying yes when you mean no, stop trusting someone else to know what's best for you, you'll step into your own authentic life. You'll belong to you. A belonging that is unconditional. And you'll buy a plane ticket instead of driving your ass 14 hours across Nevada over and over again to visit your mom.
I'm standing